Hey guys, it's Trish from Trish's Card Club, recorded live from Orlando. It's Sunday night. Hello and welcome to my page. How are you guys doing? I hope things are going well. I started this video on the wrong page, so I am restarting and trying to hook myself up, so I'm stalling for a little bit of time. Tonight I'm going to accomplish a couple of things. I'm going to talk about putting labels on stamps. So I'm trying to cover some basics, guys. It's Trish. Let me shut my sound up. I'm trying to cover some basics. So if you're new to stamping, you get to see, like 2 weeks ago, a week ago, we talked about how to cut paper. Then we talked about how to cut layers on a paper. But if you have stamps and you don't have labels for them, you need to know that too. So we're going to use the Daisy Lane stamp for putting labels on. And then I'm going to show you a little trick that I do with my stamps after I put them together. And then I'm going to do a real quick card with Daisy Lane, and we're going to call it a night. So thanks for joining me, everybody. I really appreciate it. So when you get your cards, when you get your stamps, they come together. This should all be stamps, but we're using them. So pretend there's all stamps in here. They look like they're all full. So I left one Daisy to be able to show you how to put the label on. So you pull it out of the rubber. Now, you guys, back in the day, many, many, many years ago, we used to use this for dimensionals. We used to literally cut this up and use it for dimensionals. StampinUP as a company takes their extra red rubber and they donate it to playgrounds. And there is a playground near Riverton, Utah, that surface is little pieces of red rubber. So I think that's really cool. You can do with this whatever you want. I don't keep mine anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. So this gets in the recycle bin. Then your stamp has a piece of film on the back of it, a little piece of paper, so you want to take that off. Then the next thing you're going to do, you can toss your cover to the side for now. The next thing you're going to do is on your stamp, every image has somewhere has a little slit in it, and you're going to peel that slit off like that. Now, if you can, don't touch that. Keep your hands away from that. It's super sticky. It's basically a one-shot deal to get the label on the stamp. So don't put your hand on that if you can help it. Now, all you're going to do is you're going to just put this down in the same shape as the label. So literally, you put it down, give it a little squeeze, you pull it up. It should come up very easy. And now your stamp has a label on it. So that's how you label your red rubber stamps. Obviously, you don't have labels for photopolymer, but that's how you put together your red rubber stamp. Now you have this piece of paper, and this is the trick that I learned, and I try to tell everybody that I can what to do with this piece of paper. So what you'll do is you'll peel off the top layer, and then all you're going to get on the bottom is basically, it kind of feels like a wax piece of paper. So you're just going to peel this off. Should come off relatively easy. This is super sticky. Again, I have no need for this. I just throw it away. I don't even recycle that. Now you have this kind of waxy piece of paper. So I take that and I put that on the inside of my stamp set. And I take a little bit, sorry for my arm reach. Try not to do that on camera because it's so annoying. I take a little bit of Scotch tape, fold it over. Try to fold it over on camera. Put it up here. And then that just holds the paper in place. And then I'll do a little bit at the bottom. And that's just to hold, there's nothing magic about what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to hold that piece of paper in place. Then what I do is I take my stamps and I put them on this piece of paper. And what that does is prevents the stamps from getting stuck to the actual case, because they're super, super sticky. They're called clings for a reason. They're super sticky stamps. So these are all the stamps that I already put the labels on. You can tell I've already used some of them. So that's the trick for putting labels on red rubber stamps. Pretty easy, huh? So that's one. One other stamp set I want to show you. It's kind of rare that we have this stamp set, but it's a very cool stamp set. Remember, you guys, I often use the Many Messages stamp set because I love it. And I think it's so convenient to have a little magic box. You cut them up and you put them in here, run several, and then you just have all these labels. Well, as I might have hinted back a couple of videos ago, Stampin' Up! Came out with another stamp set that matches the die called Many Happenings stamp set. So this is many messages. This is many happenings. So there's a sweet baby, bundle of joy, happily ever after. There's one for sympathy, congratulations, a just breathe, which we all probably need in today's crazy world. So this is just beyond exciting for me. I'm so excited to have this stamp set. So on this one, what you would do is you would peel the back off like that. And then you only have one very large label. And just like before, this has a little slit in it. So you can take that off this way and you can take that off this way. And now you have your label. And what you will do is get it going in the right direction. And you'll put it on top of here carefully, because you don't really get a second chance. And you put it down, and then you just pat it down, and then you peel it off, and then now your stamp has a label on it. Isn't that awesome? So that's how you do. Now I do the exact same thing with this one as I did with the other one. I take all the extra off. I won't do it on camera because you don't need to watch me tape something down. I will tape it into here, and then I will put it in here like that. And that's how I store it in my other red rubber. So you're going to start to see some of these. I just got this, you guys. I got a few, my paper share came in. So I got a few stamp sets, and I've been cutting paper pretty much all day. I'm not done. Don't get your hopes up, ladies, but I'm working on it. Okay. So what are we doing for a card? Well, we're taking a base that I used Petal Pink for the base of. I took one of our designer series papers, which is so beautiful, called Hand Penned. Oh, you guys, the paper, it is so gorgeous. It's gorgeous in the catalog, and it's even more gorgeous when you put it on, when you see it in person. So this is, I needed a tone on tone for the card that I was doing. So we're using the back side of it, even though the front side is the prettiest, but that's okay. The back side is also still very, very pretty. Let me get some adhesive. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue down my first layer of my designer series paper on here. So how was your weekend, you guys? I went to a graduation party for a dear friend of mine whose daughter's graduating from college, and I was sharing what we had gone to dinner on the night before her party, and I was sharing with her. I literally remember, you guys, my graduation from college as being one of the happiest days of my life. Now, probably it's because it took me so long to get through college. I went to community college. I took a few semesters off. I finally went back. I was not your graduate from high school and get college done in 4 years kind of girl. I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do and how I was going to do it. But finally I made it through, and I just remember that being such an incredible day, such a happy, happy day. Okay, so that's my first layer. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some basic white paper, and I'm going to take both the daisies from the Daisy Lane stamp set, which is what I had down to begin with, and I'm going to stamp them in Mellow Mambo. This color is Petal Pink, but when I did the Petal Pink daisies, the card looked a little washed out, so I just thought I'd pop up some extra color and go ahead and stamp it up in the Melon Mambo. When you have a stamp that's this big, it's always easier to use your ink pad and tap, tap, tap on the stamp. That'll ensure that you get ink all over the stamp, I think. Everybody has a different method, but that's the way that I like to do it. Now, the other thing, before I stamp this, I want to show you with a punch. With the daisy punch, the petals are straight up and down, so it's going to make it really easy to line if you stamp it straight up and down. So that's what I'm going to do on the big one. I'm going to stamp it straight up and down. And it doesn't matter which one you stamp up, straight up and down. Hold it so that the ink will absorb into the paper, and voila, a perfect daisy. Now this one's a little smaller, so this one I'm just applying the ink by tap, tap, tapping, gently, 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 all over the ink pad to get plenty of ink. And I'm going to flip it to this side, and I'm going to stamp same thing, straight up and down. Ta-da! And there's my second daisy. And then through the magic of the camera and using the big daisy punch and the little daisy punch, I punched out 2 daisies. So I just did it just because I thought it'd be faster to do it off camera. Plus now I have a second card because I can make it with this one. Okay, so for third thing that I did is I took a piece of basic white cardstock and I took the stem in that stamp set and I used Granny Apple Green, and the same thing, same concept. It's a long stamp, so I'm just gonna tap, tap, tap to get ink all over it. And then I'm gonna do it a little bit to the side because I want to have space to put a word stamp on there. So I'm doing that, holding it down. Now, as you can see, I think you can see that you guys that the stamp is longer than the paper, and so it just stamps off the bottom a little bit, which is completely fine. That's why you always want to have some kind of scrap underneath you to catch that extra. So there's that. Now, if that didn't work, ta-da! I had one on the other side just in case, but it worked very good. So let's see. What we'll next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some linen thread, which is not linen thread. This is something, an old olive, but it's not linen thread. It's not current. As you guys know, I don't adhere to, I can only use current product. If you have ribbon and it's still beautiful as it is from the first day that you bought it, you just use it. So you're going to tie your bow. This is just to give the card some dimension. Why don't I have current ribbon? Because my order's not in yet. When my order comes in, you'll see me with more current ribbon. Promise. In the meantime, if anybody's been to my house, you know I have a lot of ribbon. Colors are current, but the actual ribbon itself is not. So, but that's okay. We don't get all bogged down in the it's retired kind of syndrome. We don't worry about that. So there we go for that. Now we're going to take this and we're going to put this on the card base with dimensionals. Woo, throwing stuff around on me here. Let's flip that over. Let's get some dimensionals on there. Woo, look at that, people. Look at that. All right. Now we'll take those little covers off. Back in the day when Stampin' Up! Used to do a convention in Salt Lake City, which I dearly miss and wish they would do them again. Well, and not because of COVID, they changed their whole way of reaching out to people with gatherings. So that's a whole nother story. But we would go to convention and they would have demonstrations on stage in watching the ladies take those dimensional little covers off. Oh my gosh, their hands would be shaking, and now I understand why. So there's that. Then I'm going to take my big daisy and I'm going to put that on with the dimensional. And I'm going to put that here. Like that. See what I mean about the contrast, you guys? I just felt like it needed a little bit more contrast. Then I'll take this daisy and put it on with the dimensional. And I will put it at the opposite openings so that it looks like that. Ta-da! Doesn't that look pretty? Oh, I think that is so pretty. Now, I have a little strip of paper still left from when I cut down my Designer Series paper. And what I want to do with that is I'm going to take, oh, I don't have one. I need to get one moment, please. I will keep talking. I think you can still hear me. I forgot to get an inside sheet, so I'm going to get an inside sheet. I am going to take this and I'm going to glue it to the bottom. I'm off camera, so you can't even see what I'm doing. I'm gluing that to the bottom. Oh, I just glued all over my paper. So let's just flip that over. Let's put that on the bottom, because this is a fun way. I think this is a fun way to tie in the front of the card. I got a little glue on there, so I'm just rubbing it off. Now I will put glue on the rest of the card. And I will put that in there like that. Ta-da! And you guys, guess what? I have space for a word stamp. But this is a time when I don't know exactly what I'm going to do for my word stamp. So that's why there's no word stamp on there. In the stamp set itself, there comes some very cute words. There's smile and there's friend. And then the moments in my life, the best moments in my life happen with you, which I really like. And it's your time to shine, which is another one I really like, especially for a birthday card. But I'm not sure if this is going to be birthday or if it's going to be thinking of you. So I'm going to leave it off and blank. You know what? That's on very crooked, people. Very. Let me see if I can fix it. I may not be able to fix it. Let me see if I can fix it. I may just leave it crooked. Sometimes in life, things can just be a little crooked. Yep, it's going to be crooked. That's okay. It's not too bad. But it's a really cute card. Very simple, very pretty. A quick one you can whip up. You can use any designer series paper and then just make your daisy complementary or matching color. And you can get a bunch of cards done very, very, very quickly with using very little supplies. And I will decide what I'm going to put on there for a word stamp. And then I'll put it on there once I know what I'm going to do with it. So I think that's everything for cards for Sunday night. We made it. We're going to mail it. What else? Nothing. I watched golf. It was fantastic. A man from South Korea won for the first time, and he's played many, many years. So it's always exciting to see somebody win. And I love that. And golf is a game of persistence and patience, which maybe that's what I need to practice. And what else? Nothing, just a typical Sunday day, except for card cutting, paper cutting, a lot of paper cutting. All right, you guys, I hope you have a really good couple days. I'll be back on Wednesday, probably with another card hint, another technique. Like I said, we did cutting the paper. Now we've done how to put labels on a stamp. I'll try to think of something just so that if you haven't stamped before or you're relatively new at it, you'll just get the experience of how to get stamping on your own. So for everybody out there that watched, thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you can help me grow my YouTube page by subscribing, that would really be great. It's Trish's, TRISH' Card Club. There's no fee to subscribe. Some people have asked me that. How much does it cost to subscribe? There's no fee. In YouTube, subscribing is the same thing as following in Facebook. So there's no money involved. It's just that all those silly little algorithms determine who gets to see my work and who doesn't by the number of people that subscribe to my channel. So if you could help me grow that, I'm always very appreciative. And if you're watching this rebroadcasting on YouTube and you hit the subscribe button, I'm very appreciative. I hope you guys have a good couple days. I'll see you back on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Remember, we make it and we mail it, and you guys be good.